Morgan?
Hi, how's it going? One second, let me shut my door.
Okay.
Okay.
Return information C. You may wanna, this is our speaker right here. Yeah, go ahead and come on. And yes, and you may also, you could. Good morning, Shelley.
Good morning.
If you will, please state your full name and spell your name for the court reporter, please.
Shelley Dargan, Shelly, D as in dog, Argan.
And how are you employed, Ms. Dargan?
I work for the state of Montana as a probation and parole officer.
And how long have you worked in that capacity?
About 6 years.
In your employment, in your time as a probation officer and parole officer in the state of Montana, have you had the opportunity to get to know somebody by the name of Felicia Wilkins?
Yes, I have.
Please tell the court how you know Miss Wilkins.
Miss Wilkins was a transfer to me from a different county in Montana. I believe a little over a year ago.
And you've had the opportunity, Ms. Dargan, if I am correct, to review that case file from the time that Ms. Wilkins was on probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you please explain to the court why she was on probation and kind of the parameters of that probation, as in when she started probation?
1 second. Do you mind if I pull up her when she's on and off? Sorry.
Please.
Okay, so Miss Wilkins started supervision in the community. It looks like in here on 11/27/2020, I started actively supervising her on August 9th of 2022. She's currently serving on supervision for possession of dangerous drugs, theft, and burglary.
And what is her term of supervision, Ms. Dargan?
She has quite a few terms of supervision. Of course, reporting. She had to do chemical dependency, staying, of course, and remaining drug-free. I believe she did have the terms of restitution in the theft matter, which I could look up. Her financial summary.
Okay. Just general terms is fine. How long is her length of probation, if you would, Ms. Dargan?
She will be on supervision with us until August 11th of 2024.
So I would like to ask you some questions about her being placed originally on supervision. She was placed on in 2020, but around that time, she committed a new offense in Texas. You're aware of that, correct?
Yes.
How long had she been on probation when that offense was committed?
I don't believe she was on probation for very long when that offense was committed.
In fact, it was just a matter of like maybe 1 or 2 months, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
Yes. And once she had that offense in Texas and went back to Montana, wasn't initially under your supervision, correct?
Initially under another supervising officer here in our office, Jody McLeod. I have reviewed her notes and sanctions that were placed on Ms. Wilkins during the time of her pending revocation here and the pending charges in Texas.
And what sanctions were those?
She was placed on the drug patch program, and then she was also referred that she needed to attend chemical dependency and complete any recommendations ordered by her LAC.
And to your knowledge, did she begin to do that in 2020?
She did.
In fact, she's testified today that she completed a 6-month, what ended up being about 6 months of a rehabilitation program, oxytocin, I believe. Is that correct?
That is correct. She completed that in December of 2021.
After having completed that program, what other programs has Felicia been involved in or completed through her probation?
After she completed the drug patch, which we call it's ETSS. It's a sanction that we place people on. During her entirety of the program, while she was attending her intensive outpatient treatment with oxytocin, she participated in that. She did complete that with having absolutely no positive drug patches and 0 positive drug screenings. Then she completed the treatment as requested, and now she is enrolled in college. I don't think she's quite completed yet, but it's something she is actively doing.
And what is you've had an opportunity to talk to Felicia quite often, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you agree with me that Felicia is a very active participant on probation?
Yep, she has never failed a drug screen since she's been on with me. She hasn't failed a drug screen since back when she got on supervision and this incident in Texas occurred. She's makes all of her meetings with me, and she attends school and takes care of her kids. So she's pretty active, I guess I would say, in pro-social activities, and to my knowledge, and she's doing great. I don't have 0 issues with her.
And in fact, if one could say they had issues with Felicia, it would be that she almost is an oversharer and over-communicator. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes, she texts me all the time if she has questions, issues, any concerns. She'll come into my office. She calls me regularly. I usually have no problems tracking her down if I need anything from her. So she's very upcoming and forth with anything she needs help with.
Very active. And because of that, are you aware of a situation that has been actually ongoing with her ex?
Yes, I was made aware of that situation when she came to the Flathead Valley. That was kind of one of her reasonings for her transfer to our valley here in Flathead, was due to the current issues that she was having with her kid's father.
And can you please explain what you know about that?
Just to my basis of my knowledge, she was actively using and was abusive to her and her son.
And the reason I bring this up, both with her and with you, Shelley, is because typically when somebody has an addiction problem and they start getting stressors in their life, they tend to fall back on that addiction to deal with those stressors. Would you agree with me?
Most of the time, yes.
And Felicia has had quite a few of those stressors with that extra level of stress that has been going on with her baby's father, as well as going to school, as well as having to move across the state, and yet she has still done very well. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely, yes.
Now, the judge has to make a decision whether or not to sentence her to prison time here in Texas, or to have her do a type of probation and transfer it to you in Montana. What would your recommendation to the judge be?
My recommendation would be for her to continue active supervision here in Montana. She has completed outpatient treatment. I know now, again, she's engaging in some sort of counseling. She has been sober with no positive drug screens for years now. Since 2021 or 2020, since she got on supervision. Honestly, she's done so much in her life of taking care of her son. She's finally has her own place. She's going to school. I believe going to prison would just be detrimental to actually her being a productive member of society. It would put her back at square one when she got out. And I don't really feel that would benefit her as far as she's made it in her life so far.
Do you believe that she can continue to be rehabilitated?
I do.
And would you be willing to accept, would Montana accept supervision from Texas should the judge choose to put Felicia on probation today?
Yes, she would be eligible for an interstate transfer here to Montana. She's has, no active violations here in Montana, is a resident of Montana and currently on supervision here in Montana. So I see no hiccups in her returning right away back to Montana.
You wrote a letter, Shelley, dated August 16th of 2024 for the court. Do you recall that?
I do.
And I'm going to just put it up here. I've marked it as exhibit number 2. Do you recognize your signature on there?
Yes, I do.
At this time, Your Honor, I would tender exhibit number 2.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Defense exhibit number 2 is admitted.
Thank you, and I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Cook, do you have questions?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Hey, Shelley, my name's Cullen Cook. I'm a prosecutor in the state of Texas. I'm just going to ask you just a couple of questions. If you need me to repeat or rephrase, just let me know, okay?
All right, thanks.
A little taller, so I need to back up a little bit. But so you're aware of Ms. Wilkins' prior criminal history, right?
Yes, I am.
So you're aware that she was convicted of theft in 2015?
Yep.
You're aware that she was convicted again of theft, burglary, and criminal possession of drugs. I think you mentioned it already in 2017.
Yes.
Are you aware that she lied to police officers in this case here in Texas?
I am not, no.
Okay, so given that she has a history of committing dishonest acts like theft, intrusive acts like burglary, drug acts like possessing controlled substances, and then also she lied to police officers in this case, you can't tell this court that you can completely trust this woman, can you?
I trust the person I know today, and I don't know the person that she was then.
Okay, and so earlier you said that she hadn't committed any violations or anything while on supervision, right?
Not since this incident in Texas, to my knowledge.
Okay, and then, yeah, right, and so that was my next question. So to your knowledge, she hasn't committed any other violations?
Correct.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Anything further, Ms. Hazelwood?
Just a couple of follow-ups, Your Honor. Shelley, you did review the case file from the prior probation officer, correct?
I did.
And there was nothing in note or nothing that would change your mind as to your recommendation today based on that review, correct?
No. I was able to review all of her drug patch screens and her chemical dependency, and she was clean and participated in everything and did great.
Now, you were asked about whether or not you could trust the person that had committed those acts. I mean, probation serves a purpose, correct?
Correct.
And that is to rehabilitate people who have committed wrongs, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any reason to believe, based on the Felicia that you know and have been working with for well over a year, that she would not complete a probation if the judge were to give her probation?
I see no issues with Ms. Wilkins completing supervision in a community setting.
And just to put it plainly, you have no reservations whatsoever about putting that forth to the judge, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Anything further, Mr. Cook?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Dargan. You may be excused.
Thank you.
Hathaway, you may call your next witness. Name?